Although I knew that I wanted to start my business, my injuries really, cut my career a lot shorter and affected my physique so much. It would have been nice to know how good I could have been without a lot of injuries. And then I got hurt really bad. And then after that, pretty much every year I had a bad injury. So I now have to deal with all those injuries and I'm in pain all the time. But I still just want to be able to, there's two things that I always say. One, I want to walk into the bedroom and take off my shirt and have my girlfriend be like, damn, he looks good. And two, I want to be able to go to the beach and stand there and have people think, at one point, that guy was a bodybuilder.
It's too early to be stressed around.
She can't get f***ing hurt. It's super annoying. There's so many funny things in the door of this dress. I haven't looked in here and realized what's in here. I don't know if we put these in here. There's a bottle of Viagra.
I tell my son he is the George Clooney / like Warren Beatty of bodybuilding, and can you just kind of relax until you're maybe about 50 before you think you're gonna settle down and get married? And he's always like, Ma, stop. And I'm like, well, I think it'll be the best thing for you if you just do that.
They cut it short. Just, so basically tomorrow I am shooting with Ryan Loco. She's like really important shoot.
Girls love him, women loves them some PJ.
Right side of my back. I just woke up like that yesterday.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm just running around so
PJ
much
Braun,
and not
you never
taking
know.
care of myself. But like, the funny thing is so I was, I'll be the very conservative version of myself and say I was being intimate with Marissa.
That's a very...
And in the middle of it, I kind of like stopped for a second and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, you know what? We're going to keep going. I just did something real weird to my back. And I like shook my head and she was like, how? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm getting old. I was like, I have no idea. I'm like, but it's like radiating down my spine right now.
How's your hips been?
Plus I've been doing double hour sessions of cardio, so that's not making it any better.
I am very crazy scared of dying. And having that experience where I almost died made it even worse. That's why I've been obsessed with fitness for so many years and supplementation and life extension and IV therapies and all these modern, advances in medicine. So I'm just really bad with death. It's very hard. It's just the idea of death freaks me out really bad.
Yeah, it's definitely inflamed because you're getting my fingerprints in that area.
Because of that, I'm always like, oh man, am I doing something? Am I too stressed? Am I gonna die faster because I'm too stressed? Am I too heavy? Am I gonna have a heart attack? Am I this? Am I gonna that? And I get a lot of anxiety over just general health. So to combat that I do the things that you guys have seen, trying to stay as healthy as I possibly can.
How are you?
What do you want me to do?
Well, I'm just finishing up with my
Okay,
next
I'm gonna just hang out here inside.
You can hang out inside.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and get on the table. And then, do you want them in here while we do the insertion?
I'm assuming they're not gonna want it.
I represent a company that's based around health and fitness, and so I feel I should look that part no matter what. I feel like I am the face of the company. I'm a walking billboard for the products, and that I should look good. I'm representing fitness as a lifestyle. On top of that, I mean, there's anybody that's dedicated the amount of time that I have to bodybuilding, there is a bit of vanity involved, and there is, in some people, healthy amounts, and in some people, unhealthy amounts of narcissism, of course. I mean, it's a very narcissistic sport.
And usually it takes a few times filling up and releasing before anything comes out. With the average person, usually it's 3-4 times. But PJ tends to release a little bit better because you also do really well with your water intake. So usually it takes 3-4 times filling up for the average person to have a release. So, but sometimes people release right away. You also took a nice amount of water in.
Yeah.
So you're a little bit different than the average person coming in here also. So it's a great way to hydrate your body is through a colonic, because this is where all the water reabsorption takes place in the transverse colon. So,
And I actually am very dehydrated coming in
so
here.
this is why I thought this would actually be very good for you.
Yeah, I've barely had any water today.
You see a lot of gas coming out.
For me, and it goes back to my anxiety, put so much weight on health that I feel like if I'm doing all these things that are healthy and making me look healthy and making me feel healthy, then I'm hopefully going to be alive longer.
Tell me if I changed for the better or for worse.
Good. One thing that they do in the IFBB that they need to absolutely change is they almost always judge the masters before the open, and they need to flip that around. Because what happens is they judge the masters first, and it's like, okay, here's the best girls in the masters, and then those girls don't get to pose. Then they bring everybody out in the open, they all pose, and they're all getting fresh looks from the judge, and then they filter in the masters girls at the end, and it's almost like they're forgotten at that point.
So PJ's really awesome with posing. He helped me posing when I went pro in women's physique, and he's really good. He has a really good eye, and so he wanted Bethany to come in to pose because she has a show in 4.5 weeks, and I'm her coach, and she's part of the Blackstone Labs team now. So he said, let me take a look at her, see how she's coming along. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then he wanted to see my progress because he's transforming me from having more muscle and stripping it down. So he wants to see where I'm at too. So
So we're trying to do the opposite, literally.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build, and she's trying to strip it down.
Do it again. I'm gonna look at your upper body a little bit more this time. Your quads are, I guess because you're getting so much leaner, the separation's coming out a lot more, and your quads are just jacked, you know?
yeah.
I think that you're gonna have to just do some straight up running and jogging and just burn that muscle. You're probably really firing those muscles hard, and even though you're burning calories, I think you're probably stimulating those muscles want to stay. They don't want to go.
Yeah.
So like when you turn your leg, like when you hit it, that separation in your quad sweep comes out a lot.
Almost every bodybuilder will tell you something wrong about what they did, but they'll have a few moments where they're like, I really nailed it that day. Once you have that moment, you chase that feeling for the rest of your life. And I actually will often deter people from competing for that reason, because I let them know, once you do this, you're never gonna be the same ever again. You're always gonna feel a little bit fat. You're always gonna feel like you're not as big or perfect as you were that day, and you're gonna have to accept that for the rest of your life.
Nothing changes, right? So.
Good. I mean, I want to change your posing around a lot. That's something. Your physique is phenomenal. It's just your presentation is so rigid.
Too much lean.
Yeah.
And now relax your hands a little bit.
Yep. Your hands are too tensed.
Like that? Or like have them
just let
down?
him-
More like that. That was way better what you just did towards the end.
And she told me to like have my hands out?
No, I mean, she's not a great competitor, so that's why she's a pro, but I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I used to tell people, your hands, imagine you just threw a Frisbee, and then you let your arm come right back down like that. Relax those hands in a little bit more though. There you go. Way better. I can't tell you what a difference it makes when you change your hands like that. What we got with that girl Lauren was so good because her posing was so bad when she walked in, and I've been seeing her in pictures. I'm like, that girl is so good. Like she's not displaying herself right, and just from those changes, she looked dramatically better.
The video you posted, she looked better than.
All this time, I was like, why does this girl have no separation in her legs? She's so lean, and it's because all she was doing was she was like locking her knees and squeezing her legs real hard. So I was like, that's not what you do. That's not how you open your legs. You push out on your heels and flare the muscles out. So you're actually not really flexing them. And she was like this, and right when she did it, we were all like, yes! Sadly, it's not sadly, it is sadly, but there are not a lot of good teachers out there. So people will often be like, oh, this person's a pro, so they must be a good teacher, but there's so many pros now. And a lot of times, you don't know why the person got a pro or how weak the show was that day. Granted, they're still pro, which is an honorable thing, but that doesn't mean that they should be teaching people how to do other stuff, you know? Like sometimes the best batting coaches are not good baseball players, but they really know how to teach you how to swing the bat the right way. So that's like something that I can do. And I've been posing girls for years. So when I was seeing her pictures, I was like, oh my God, like it was like driving me insane.
I remember weeks before when she posted a video, you were like, oh, I'm posing.
I told her today, I didn't even ask her, I said, you must come in today and learn how to pose. All right, I have to go to the gym. Honestly, I'm so tired that if I don't do it now, I'm not gonna be able to do it, so. Love you too.
But, you know, he's just now met a really lovely girl, and she's not in the industry, and we're going, okay, this is a good thing. So, and I think the fact that she's not in the industry is a really good thing.
Usually, no matter whether it's morning or night, Marissa and I work out together. That's like our time together because she works long days also. And then we get back here, you can almost guarantee that there'll be 90s R&B playing. And we prep food, we hang out, we joke around, we bullshit. And we're still in like a very like honeymoon phase of our relationship. So there's not a lot of like watching TV and doing things that like bored people do. It's, you know, a lot of like affection and joking around and having fun and just enjoying each other. And usually around like somewhere between 12 and 1, I finally fall asleep and then I repeat it again the next day.